Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're having a great weekend. So today we got to talk about something very important. Today we're talking about YouTubers who've gotten demonetized, right? Some after a very long period of time on YouTube. And as a result of that, what's happened is their livelihoods are now in jeopardy, right? So here's the thing, guys. YouTube has a very ironclad terms of service, right? This is a private organization. This is not like a standard employee to employer relationship, right? So you don't have a whole lot to fight with in your arsenal if you're the victim of a demonetization. And that's something that you got to be very clear on coming onto the YouTube platform. You got to understand that at any time, practically for any reason, YouTube can end their partnership with you. Right, you understand that? That's in your contract. I know a lot of people, when they get monetized, they don't read it. But that right alone, guys, should tell you that if you're building a YouTube business, right, and it becomes a thriving, good business where it's now taking care of your livelihood and you and your family are totally dependent on this thing, that you should automatically have a backup plan for that. In fact, I would go as far as to say it is totally irresponsible on you not to have a backup plan, right? So that's why I'm proposing that every content creator have a BTCMYK account. And what is that? The BTCMYK social media group is run by the community, right? It monetizes not just everyone on the platform, but even your viewers, right? And so that encourages you big content creators, right? It encourages you to let your subscribers know this so that they can be rewarded as well. That incentivizes them to watch you on the platform. Now, keep this in mind, right? This has nothing to do with leaving YouTube for another social media product or something like that, because they work in conjunction with each other, right? And let me explain what I mean by that. So you'll still be uploading on YouTube, Vimeo, and all your other platforms, right? And so this is more like a hub, and you will just post the links here and the people can come over. They're monetized, you're monetized, and if case something happens down the road, let's say YouTube for whatever reason ends their relationship with your demonetization relationship, it doesn't matter. As long as you still have your YouTube channel, right? You can still post to your YouTube, have it here, and just encourage people to use it here. Now this is a little bit different than competing products with the YouTube product, such as your Rumbles and all those things, because this greatly incentivizes your viewers to come watch you here. It's different than the others, right? Where the viewers don't get anything. And let's face it, YouTube is king. YouTube's been in the game. They're the king. Their earnings are bar none the best out there. YouTube is where you want to be. But once you get demonetized, your options are gone. And the very idea that you can be demonetized should have you coming into the YouTube environment already planning to be demonetized, because you don't know what's going to happen. Here's the other thing. Even if you're not demonetized, you could have a great reduction in ad payouts, which means that you can get millions of views and make little bits of money so small that you can't survive on them. And although that's not demonetization, it's very similar to it, right? The effects are going to be about the same. So that's what I'm saying, guys. You gotta be responsible for these things. Anything else, I hate to sound harsh, you're being irresponsible. And the easiest way to combat this is with a BTCMYK account. Because usually the next question, but here's the thing, this is the important part. You guys who are thriving in your YouTube careers today, you need to start working on that today. And maybe I need to reach out to some YouTube content creators about this. Specifically, I think the ones who are more open to this are probably going to be the ones who are possibly facing demonetization, who already have what could be controversial material on YouTube, right? So you're next on the chopping block already. Hopefully you came in with that in mind. But for some reason, I don't think people believe it will happen to them, right? As I said earlier, YouTube doesn't need a reason to do this. I'm monetized with YouTube, right? Even when I got monetized, I never saw YouTube as a job or employment or something like that, because I read the terms of service. I said, this is not conducive with what, you don't have any, you're not going to have any rights to fight YouTube about your money, really. And so I said that doesn't make a lot of sense for me to come in with that mindset, right? I then got demonetized. Now here's the catcher to all of this. I got demonetized. I finally got somebody at the YouTube Corporation. Nobody at the YouTube Corporation could tell me exactly why I was demonetized, nor did they have to. So that went on for several months. And then finally, I got monetized again. So I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I thought I've done everything right. We checked my, my standard, how many hours I was getting, all that stuff. All that stuff was fine. They were fine with it. And so they finally did monetize me again. But you see how crazy that is? Imagine you had to depend on a livelihood and a paycheck from YouTube while they had no answers. You were demonetized even though you did nothing outside of their scope and or the rules that they put in place, and you still got demonetized without explanation. So then it came back on. But what if it didn't come back on, right? So that's the point I'm making, guys. So BTCMYK, I'm going to show you how it works. When you watch or you like or you do something, I'm going to go over to wallets here. And this is what you tell your viewers, especially you guys who got like those large, got 1 million subscribers. You need to bring all those 1 million subscribers over to BTCMYK. And the way you do it is you don't do it by leaving YouTube, right? As far as I'm concerned, YouTube runs a great business, right? I like the YouTube business. I appreciate my partnership with YouTube. I think in all fairness, YouTube understands where we're coming from, right? That we can't get behind this platform 100% when we have no recourse or we have no ability to, you can do anything you want and we can't fight back, right? This is your thing. This is your platform. This isn't like in the workforce where you have labor laws and you have labor unions and you have all that stuff. Nope. That's not what this says. And so a lot of people are coming in here and they're finding they can make careers on YouTube, right? But the problem with all of that is that they're in this great amount of danger, right? And we know that the majority of them aren't creating their own platforms on the side. It would be too costly and it would be just, it's a lot of work behind that. People aren't going to, they're on here to make content. They're not on here to run these elaborate businesses, right? So what they should be doing, right, is telling their users the truth. And that is, you might log on one day and you might not see me here because I'm not monetized. I can't make a living. I can't keep up the production. So to be safe, right, we're putting up this account. We're setting up, we're going to be posting our videos at BTCMYK. And you're going to earn money for coming on, participating, watching the videos, viewing people's content, and the things you do already on YouTube. And the hardest thing to do with a social media platform is get people out of their habits to move from one to another. I remember a time when there were several dozen competing social media networks. Now they're like the major 5. They're just like insurance companies. And that's a problem, because in capitalism, you can't have monopolies like that. The problem is when you have that, you won't have anywhere to go. You won't have a competing payment going to your account, right? In other words, that's why YouTube's always able to pay you the most money, and the other platforms, you notice these large gaps in what they can pay you in comparison. And that is because content creators haven't been educated on the importance of capitalism and competition in that scope, right? So you can get those competing salaries and so on. So what you need to be doing, it's not hard to do, guys. I see you guys run promotions and ads for these companies you work for, and it's the same thing here. For every subscriber that comes over here, you get more money. So you're actually getting, just like any affiliate-based brand or something like that, for every subscriber. Now, here's the thing. Here's the little catch, right? YouTube sends you a paycheck, right? And they're all under typically like a public trading company, or they're under something like that where now you got investors, you got shareholders. And because we chose not to go that route, you do get paid in Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people know today it's easy to trade that out for cash, right? So you get paid in something we call it the BTCMYK currency, but it trades against Bitcoin, so you can cash it out into Bitcoin. Once in Bitcoin, it can be cash for whatever your daily uses are. And Bitcoin has become so spread across the globe now, that's not a hard thing to do anymore. Now, again, the reason we can't run on a standard corporate level is because if we do that, then you have to have investors, a board of directors, and then these people make the decision about who gets demonetized. Whereas in this, what you have, and you see how you're just getting these BTCMYK currencies for visiting site visits, you're getting them for updating your profiles, you're getting them for logging in. So this is a way to incentivize not only you to use it, but your subscribers as well. They're going to be getting something too. But moving on from that, going back to that standard model, the reason we have to do it like this, guys, because if you guys want more of the ability to fight, demonetization, or to even have a more decentralized, democratic idea about your social media content and such, about how it's controlled, where it goes, how you get along, we can't have a model where you have one guy who owns the entire network, right? One guy that's a trillionaire who can, we know that he would be able to override his board of directors, more likely, his CEOs, or he may be the CEO. And then what's going to happen, guys, is that you're still not going to have much of a voice, much of a say, much of a way to deal with those circumstances. That's how come it is very important that if you're a content creator, if you're just starting out, what you can do, more likely if you're just starting out, you're not going to be monetized, right? People know how hard and difficult it is. With this, you can get on here, start posting content, get monetized right away, right? That's how we're doing it here. Now, it's like the early days of YouTube, but everybody gets monetized, and it is what it is. Now, again, this isn't a choice between, I have to leave YouTube, or I have to leave, whatever Meta, whatever there is out there paying you guys. It's nothing to do with that. In fact, this works as a compliment to them. You just come on here and post your links over there, and you still get monetized for, even if you put it out on a different platform, as long as you have an account here to link that to. Does that make sense? Right? So what that's going to do, that's going to give you a situation where, in case things go very, very bad for you, now you can ease back into your account here, and you still have a lot of your subscribers already over here. You didn't have to ask them in one gulp to come over, which they're not going to do. We've seen the biggest people get demonetized off YouTube, and I can tell you their careers are pretty much over when that happens. So you don't want to do it like that. This is a safety blanket, right? It's not meant to solve your demonetization problem. Nobody can solve that for you. It's not going to be solved. And if you were dependent on that as an income, God help you. But if that hasn't happened to you yet, maybe now's the time to start thinking about that. If it has happened to you and you're not beyond redemption, it's going to be a little bit harder for you, but you want to hurry up and set up a BTCMYK account, and hopefully you had a mailing list or something like that. You want to reach out to your subscribers if your channel is still accessible and available to you, because half the time you're going to still have the channel, you're just not going to have the money, the monetization. So you could still reach your subscribers, get them over here so you can get monetized, right? That's going to help you a lot. And if you're a bit, it's even more paramount to do this if you got over 1 million subscribers. What are you doing? You should already be over here, because if you got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you get demonetized, you got more to lose than anyone. And at the very least, right, I know like a lot of these big content creators, you know, they got a team of people working with them. How hard is it to have your people create accounts for you here and upload your content here? That's very easy, guys. Come on now. What we don't want to see, I'm speaking specifically now to you content creators who are going to watch this video, but you're not going to act, right? You're going to watch this video and you're going to think you can go back to YouTube and create content and you're going to be okay. Speaking specifically to you. If you do that and you don't have a BTCMYK account, before you even go online and do that video talk about you just got demonetized, think about when you watch this video here and we told you what to do, right? So a lot of people ignore that because, like I said, it's hard to move your habits, recruiters of habits, off of a social media site. We're some of us to a degree lazy in that regard, and those are things we can't afford with the stakes so high, right? You got a lot of subscribers, that is your business, or it's become your business. It makes you more money than your bills. This would be something like an insurance policy for you, right? So make sure we'll leave a link in the description, you sign up today so we can start preparing you to be secure with your YouTube earning futures and accounts and on the other platforms. Now, I just say this lastly before we end the video. Now, if you find your entire channel has been, because sometimes YouTube just goes, we're not going to deal with you at all. Not only are you been demonetized, your channel, you just deleted your channel. And that could happen to me. Maybe this could happen to me for doing this video. I don't think it should, because in fairness, YouTube is a private business. I like their business model. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. But in fairness, YouTube should allow people the option to be able to securely prepare their futures, because whether YouTube tells you in an ironclad terms of service, we can end this relationship at any time, that still doesn't negate that people are going to always come on the YouTube platform and look at this as a job. And because of that, it's just the way humans think and how things work. And because of that, in the legal system, maybe there should be more ways for people to fight that in relationships like this, right? Maybe you shouldn't be able to just end a person's business or take a person's business. And maybe some people do find ways to protect themselves. But if you're a person who doesn't know, or you haven't done that, join BTCMYK. Come in the comment section. We can go down to details about how it works, what you need to do, how quickly. It's very easy, guys, and you can get started within 30 seconds. You could be monetized right here. So think about all that, guys. That's all I'm going to say in this particular video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.